Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. 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 Oh, man. Welcome to the Dan Show, man. I have been waiting to just talk football all week. I'm going to double check to make sure. I think my camera's a little, okay, am I positioned right? I'm going to make sure I am ready to rock and roll on YouTube. I am. Man, I am very, very, very excited to talk football, man. Very excited to talk football. Before I get going, I'm going to answer any and all questions, of course. I kind of want to start with a different subject, something a little new and different. Something I've known that's going to happen for several years. I wish I had the news article or source. That way I could cite it. But this has been in the works for a very long time. The SEC has expanded now to 16 teams. They got Texas and Oklahoma are coming to the SEC. The SEC has always had this plan to have just like an NFL conference where you have 4-team divisions and they're going to play a Final Four. I think it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch it. Some of my Detroit fans will have to tell me is doesn't the Big Ten now have 16 teams? I think they have 16. It's 14 or 16. I don't know off the top of my head. I know the Pac-12 wants to expand to 16. I think the plans are to they've been trying to get BYU to come in for a long time. I think they want to include Boise, Colorado State, and Utah State, give them 16, and then they would follow the same blueprint. But I think it's just a matter of time before we get 16 team conferences and we'll have Final Fours. And then, the SEC, when they have their Final Four, whoever wins will automatically advance to whatever they want to call the National Championship Series. I think that's going to 8 games. So we're going to see some things in college football that's going to expand. I think it's going to be kind of cool. As somebody who lives in Kansas City as part of Big 12 country, I think the Big 12 is going to die and just become a thing of the past. If the American conference is smart, they absorb the rest of those teams. If I'm Iowa State, I try to jump ship into the Big Ten or whatever they're going to call themselves. But the American Conference already has SMU and Houston. I think North Texas is in there. So I think that they'll go ahead and try to get some of those other Texas schools. So I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. So let's get these comments. Detroit on Big Will. What's up, though? 10-7. That's awesome, man. Hey, I'm a big fan of the Luke G show. Luke G has a lifetime pass to come on here anytime. So if he wants to come on live, because I did my Detroit Lions breakdown, I think there's several things on there he doesn't agree with. But the over-under is 5. So let me know if you're going to put action down on the Detroit Lions. Right now, I think it's still negative 110. I haven't checked, and I've been meaning to do this for Luke and a few other of my Lions fans, is I want to check some of the Michigan sports books and see what the line is on the Lions. But if you guys can get 5, because a lot of you guys think I'm seeing 7, 8, 9, 10 wins. So, hey, man, make some money, man. Homeland, welcome, man. My only Patriots fan, and I'm super excited to have Patriots fan in here. I will be doing my Patriots breakdown in a couple of weeks. I'm definitely going to hit you up and get some ideas from you. So Red C's in the house. And we met Red C. I loved you coming on. When I do the Cardinals video, I definitely want to have you on again. It was a great interview. Great time having you on. Fantastic on the show. Definitely want you back on, especially when I do the Cardinals video, because I want to see how you think about what I think about the breakdown. Get your point, counterpoint, and what you think about the over-under when I break that down. One Pride 40's in the house. Welcome, brother. Tim says Saul KU wants to join the Big Ten. That would be smart. That would be smart because that would be a logical place for KU, K-State, and Iowa State to go. The other place would be the American Conference. Now, the cool thing is if you join the American Conference, you'll be better football. And then from basketball, Memphis, KU yearly rivalry could be pretty good. So, I actually think that's a smart move. And the question is, I think the Big Ten – I should have looked this up before I had a chance to go live. I think the Big Ten already has 16. They had a big expansion. So I think they're already at 16. So it'll be interesting, but the Big Ten could be 20. So it'll be interesting to see. But I really love the SEC. This has been in the works for a long time. Back when there were 12 teams, they didn't want to go to 14. They wanted to go to 16. So this has been in the works for a long time. I wish I could find the source. I wish I could say it, but this has been going on for a long time. The Homeland has a great question. Now that I see OU doing, they're actually going to struggle. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that they're going to struggle. Now here's the drill. Texas A&M has done pretty well. I think Texas A&M. What they finish last year, 5th or 6th or something like that. They also have a really good underrated recruiting class. But I actually think Oklahoma will struggle. They really will, because Oklahoma's been the big dog. They're not the big dog anymore. And money-wise, it makes sense. They're going to make a lot more money. There's always been talk about Lincoln Riley going into the NFL. I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if in 2022, after the 2021 season's over, if he takes an NFL job. So, I think Oklahoma will struggle. I really do. I think, and when I say struggle, 8 to 10 wins. I mean, they're still going to be a ranked team, but they're not. They're just not going to be the dominant force that they are. I think that they'll take a few additional losses, but bet Lions under 5. The only thing I would tell you about the Lions under number is that I can speak from experience. John Dorsey's famous for finding players hidden in cracks. One of the things he did is I know with Kansas City is that I know for the 2013 season, he did something I've never seen before, never seen since, is that after the third preseason game, he went ahead and signed 8 players. 2 of them started week 1. So he signed players that were cast off from teams. One player, Ron Parker, played for a long time in Kansas City. Then he signed a big deal with Atlanta, got hurt, and wasn't the same guy. But Ron Parker had a really nice career here in Kansas City. He was just a cast-off from, I think it was Seattle. Now, the thing is with Ron Parker is that the Chiefs had to move him from corner to safety. And then once they moved him to safety, it was like the light came on. It was like, okay, you're not really a corner, you're a safety. But he was able to find players that teams really didn't know to look for. I think he's going to do the same thing. The roster the Detroit Lions have now and the roster the Detroit Lions are going to have at the start of the season are going to be completely different. I think you're going to see a lot of players. Don't forget, this is the same guy who found a way to trade for OBJ. So don't be surprised if between now and the beginning of the season, keep in mind, he's got 2 first-round draft picks over the next 2 years. So he's going to make some moves. You're going to see some changes. So that's why when I did my video, I say bet over 5 because Dorsey will make some changes. And 5 is also a low number. But I think you're just trying to get some people's attention there. Denver Gator, what is up, brother? Man, hey, man, I'm excited. I'm gonna tag you Monday when I release the Denver Broncos video. I definitely want to know what you have to say about some of the things, and a lot of things I want to run by you, and I kind of like to know your opinion, man. Funk's in the house. He's almost here. My son's having an issue today. I think. Okay, I'm sorry about your son, man. There's a few things more important in football. Your son is one of them, man. I hope he's okay, man. That's number one thing. Luke G's in the house. Luke, I don't know if you saw the comments I made, but I didn't listen to the whole thing, but it floored me For those of you that don't know, by the way, sign up for the Luke G Field Review. There's a lot of things that he does I should do, especially his intro, which I really love. I'm stealing this from the Luke G Field Review, so hopefully I don't get struck with a copyright infringement. But Barry Sanders just made the Oklahoma State Ring of Honor. And I put some comments there in his video, but I mean, what the hell is going on with Oklahoma State? I mean, it took this long to put Barry Sanders in the Ring of Honor. Now Oklahoma State's not the same football factory as Texas or Oklahoma, but they've had some good players. But has anybody been better than Barry Sanders? Anybody? No. And it's been now. What the hell? I don't know if you saw the joke comments I put down there, but that floored me. That floored me. And Luke, I also we're going to message you. I've been meaning to try to look at some Detroit, Michigan sports books, try to get some numbers on the Lions because I definitely know you believe that the Lions are going to finish at over 5. Golden Roosters in the house. What is up, brother? I did my release of the Atlanta Falcons. I'd love to know what you thought of those. My Atlanta Falcons video. They are going to be a very, very, very fun team. They're going to be a fun team to watch. One of the things I left out is I think they're going to be a lot more run-oriented. I think it's going to be a lot more run-oriented team than they have in the past, even though they brought in Kyle Pitts, who's a tight end, but he's going to be one of those Travis Kelce type receivers. Man, thank you, Funk. Funk's saying get those likes up. Just saw those odds. Spencer Rattler plus 550 to win a Heisman. Your thoughts? It's a good number. I haven't had a chance to take a look too much in college football, but Rattler's got a lot of tools. Whoever's going to be quarterback of Alabama, I know who he is. He got some playing time last year. He's going to be a favorite. There's a few dark horse candidates that I haven't completely looked at yet. But that's actually a really good number. And I say that because Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, they're bringing in a lot of talent. They have one of the best recruiting classes in the country. It's not a bad number. Let's say you think Spencer Rattler is the guy. I would shop around because I think you may be able to get better than 550. However, if you do think Rattler's the guy, get on it now, because what will happen is I think that number is going to continue to drop. You can probably find better than 550 somewhere. I don't know where you got that at, but yeah, it's not bad. He's easily one of the big favorites. Easily one of the big favorites. And keep in mind they're going to play against a weak Big 12. They're going to win between 10 and 12 games. He's going to have big numbers. So it's pretty good number. It's 14. Okay. If that's the case, you could easily go from 14 to 16 to 18. Kansas, K-State, Iowa State, those are 3 teams. I personally, if I was in charge of the Big Ten, I would kick Rutgers off to the side, but I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time with the SEC going to 16. I know the Pac-12 has been saying they want to go to 16. I fully expect the Big Ten to take one or two or maybe even 3 teams. They may even want to try to go to 17, which would be weird, but you may want to get Iowa, Kansas, and K-State. You may want to get all 3 of them. That, to me, I think that would be smart, and I would love to see them have 16 and then the Pac-12 have 16, and then the team that finishes in second place for each division play in the Rose Bowl. That's what I would love to see. Again, not a college football guy, but that's just kind of an idea. Luke G giving a shout out to Detroit on Big Will. Tim giving a shout. Tim hit me up. Luke, he's like, man, I gotta find this guy's Instagram. So he's only half teasing Mike. Giving some love here. Yeah, Dorsey needs to find that cast-off starting safety. 2 of the starters in 2013, Dorsey found week 3 preseason cuts. It was Ron Parker and another big physical corner who played 1 year in Kansas City. I think he went to Arizona and got hurt, but I'm drawing a blank on his name, but Dorsey did some really creative things in Kansas City. And I thought he was kind of hamstrung in in Cleveland because he was forced to keep. I already had my first name freeze. The coach who went 0-16, he was forced to keep that guy. He couldn't really get rid of him. And if you watch Hard Knocks, you could tell Dorsey really didn't care for him. But yeah, I'm telling you this right now, Lions fans, Dorsey's going to sign you some players. The starting lineup, that's your starting 22 now and your starting 22 week 1 is going to be different. That's why if you really believe that the Lions are better than a 5-win team now, go ahead and put action on them. Again, I'm going to do some checking in Michigan sports books. It wouldn't surprise me if in the Michigan area they jumped it up to 5.5. But if you can find a good number, go ahead and get it. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, Dorsey's going to make some moves between now and the beginning of the season. Denver Gator, please bring Texas and OU to the SEC. Both will get punched in the mouth and end up being the next Vanderbilt and Ole Miss. Come on, Texas struggles with teams like KU. This is going to happen. And the SEC has been planning this for a long time. Now, Ole Miss has Lane Kiffin. And if I'm correct, at one point in time, Cooper Manning, or I think it's Cooper Manning Jr., but anyway, Peyton and Eli's nephew, I thought already committed to Ole Miss. I think he's already committed to Ole Miss. I could be wrong. But the SEC is going to get really exciting. By the way, Ole Miss and Mississippi State are going to be teams actually to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if both those teams end up being ranked. So, I mean, the SEC is going to be a very fun conference. But the answer, who was asking about Oklahoma, no, Oklahoma will dip. There's no way they can dominate. The Big 12 is one of the weaker football conferences, and their two big teams are Oklahoma and Texas. With them gone, I think the whole conference is going to fade. I really do. It'll be a thing of the past. You might even remember, it's slightly before my time, it was the Southwest Conference, which was the big conference in college football. And then when SMU, that's my favorite 40 for 40 special on ESPN, was the Pony Excess. When SMU had the death penalty, that conference ended up disbanding. So, yeah. Funk, they might just sign Vicario. That actually wouldn't be a bad signing. Hey, man, I mean every syllable of it, Funk. I bring every syllable. Luke is about to bring out that golf film. I actually cannot wait to watch that because I actually like a lot of things. Here's the deal. If you put a good offensive line, golf has the time. And I'm telling you this right now, Dorsey's going to find weapons, man. You good, brother. I am shocked it took this. Did you see some of those comments I put down there? I had some fun with that. I watched. I didn't watch the whole thing. I apologize. I'm at work and I wanted to get on, make comments. I don't get any work done. You know the drill. But yeah, I don't get it. The best player in the history of Oklahoma State, and you don't do it till now. And you are aware his quarterback is Mike Gundy, who's been the head coach there for like 20, 25 years. How's he not had Barry Sanders, on the sidelines every play? I mean, or every game, I'm sorry. If I'm Mike Gundy, I'm calling Barry Sanders up. Hey, can you come to practice? I'll fly you out. You want your name on the scoreboard? You want your name on the stadium? You want your name in the parking lot? You want your own chair? You want my chair? You want to call some plays? I mean, I'm doing this every single day. I'm calling Barry Sanders like 5 times a day. Hey, you want to come out here? You want to talk to players? I don't get that. If you seriously, Luke, if I didn't hear it from you, I would have thought that Barry was on there. Okay, I'm going on a rant here. I am 59% sure I am not on cocaine. Over 59% sure. I did just slam an energy drink and I'm drinking coffee though. Always a good bet for Oklahoma and yeah, exactly. A side note here. Also for everybody who's in the chat, if you don't mind, some of you are involved in fantasy football. I'm going to try to get a video out of sleepers, late round picks that you can pick for your fantasy league. I think I put out the video last year a little too late. It's too early now, but for those of you who are in fantasy football, let me know when you're having your draft. I'm going to try to get a video out. Everybody knows who to pick in rounds 1 and 2. I want to help you out for getting those late round picks, who to pick in round 10, 11, and 12, some sleeper rookies. I will ask one thing. If you ask me for help on your fantasy league, I don't care if it's $5 or it's $500 buy-in, but don't give me this, Dan, I want help to win my free league for pride. I don't know. It's got to be monetary. If you ask me for help, I don't care if it's $5. I will help you win your fantasy league. I will help you with your draft. I'll help you in mid-season, but it's got to be a money amount. Don't be in a free fantasy football league, folks. I'm gonna insist about that, but I am gonna come out with a video. Just let me know when your draft is, because I want to do the video about a week or two before the season starts. I want to make sure that I include, like for example, Cam Akers. I had a buddy of mine draft a player who was out for the year because he didn't know about it, and then he threw a little hissy fit. And anyway, and somebody should have said something to him, but hey man, do your homework. I will help you win your fantasy football league, but you got to have money involved. All right, that's the only thing. I can see the Lions going after Vicario. I could too. I will say this. I'm telling you this for a fact. Dorsey's going to make some moves. Lot of love for Funk's kid, man. A lot of love for Funk's kid. Yeah, Andy Reid and John Dorsey came together, and this is what was really weird. Is what happened was Clark Hunt took over the team when his father died, and he hired Scott Pioli from New England. Sound familiar? And then Scott Pioli brought in Todd Haley and Romeo Crennel, to be the coaches and everything. But like Lamar Hunt did with Carl Peterson, is that he let Carl Peterson just have, he did everything. And so he let Pioli say, hey, I'm going to be the perfect owner. I'm going to sit back, do whatever. Pioli just didn't do that good of a job. He tried to do the same thing that Bill Belichick did, and like a lot of other people that have tried before it and didn't work. So what he did when he brought in John Dorsey and Andy Reid was, this is the only team I think that does this, is he said, look, I'm going to have the general manager and the coach come to me directly. I'm not going to have the standard ladder. Both are going to have directly. Both are going to have equal say. Now, the rumor was Andy Reid went to Clark Hunt and said, hey, look, I'm not working with Dorsey. It's either me or him. And Dorsey ended up being out. But here's the facts. Andy Reid was announced a contract extension. 30 minutes later, John Dorsey was announced that he was no longer with the team. It happened like literally 30 minutes apart. So I'm not saying that's what really happened, but it kind of seemed like that's what happened. And right now we have Brett Veach as a GM, but Andy Reid kind of runs the show. I mean, trust me, if it comes down to taking a player and Andy says yes and Brett Veach says no, that player is going to be a Chief. Excuse me. But it's kind of an unusual power structure. But yeah, Andy Reid and John Dorsey came in 2013. But John Dorsey did a lot of things to help Andy Reid succeed. And one of the big things that he did is that when they brought in Bob Sutton, he brought in press man corners to fit that defense. If you watch my Carolina video, Carolina's going to play a lot press man. So if you notice, they brought in A.J. Bowie, Rashawn Melvin. They drafted J.C. Horn. So they brought in a lot of corners to play that press man defense. And I know for a fact nobody looked at my video when I said that I like the big, long D, that everybody acted professionally and nothing bad was said about it. So, yeah. Lots of love here for Funk, and that's great, man. Thank you guys for showing some love, man. Vicario's the only safety on the market. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, if I'm correct, Vicario played for Aaron Glenn, so I mean they have a connection. It makes a lot of sense. Luke was talking about trading for Tyler Johnson. Okay, I was like, the kid's name. I think the kid's name is Travis Hunter, but I saw he's the highest rated corner ever coming out of high school. He's going to Florida State. I was like, damn, really? Well, I know that was it Derek Daryl or Derek Stingley Jr. He is possibly, well, I don't think he will, but as of right now, he's the number one rated player coming out of college this year. There's talk about him maybe going number one, but I don't think a corner is going to go number one. There'll be a quarterback going number one in next year's draft, but he was a 5-star player. Here's the thing, Tim, is that every scouting source does it a little differently. And a school like Florida State, which has struggled, and by the way, didn't get asked to go to the SEC, it's more than likely this was probably a Florida State website. But I have to admit, the one thing about the SEC is I really thought that they would go after Clemson or Miami. I'm kind of surprised they went the opposite route and went with the Texas schools. Well, I know Oklahoma's not a Texas school, but the entire roster's from Texas almost. So yeah, including Spencer Rattler. So yeah, but more than likely, Tim, that's probably a source that's directly. I'm not saying it's wrong, but yeah. But Florida State, I'd love to see Florida State kind of get back to being a national power. I will say that. Corey, let's talk about it. You hated the Panthers taking JC. Yeah, let's talk about it. I will admit, I was not fond of it either. I definitely would have took Surtain instead. But here's the logic, is they said that they liked Horn's press man abilities a lot more than they liked Patrick Surtain's. I would have done just the opposite. That was the reason why I gave him a C+. And looking back on it, I probably should have given him a B-, maybe a B. Because after that first pick, I love what the rest of the picks they made in the 5th round. I think it's Davian Nixon out of Iowa, perfect 5 technique. Him and Daquan Jones will compete for technically not a starting spot. Unless Derek Brown doesn't play up to standards. But there's a lot of things that Carolina did a little different, and I'm not really sure it's going to work, but I will say this: I like the fact that they're trying something different, that they have a blueprint and they're sticking to it. I do like that, so it's going to be really interesting. But I'm not really sure that J.C. Horn is really going to be the guy that it'll be interesting because I think that if Surtain was gone, Denver would have took Horn instead. So I think Denver, and being a Chiefs fan, I hate it because I loved Surtain's dad. He was in Kansas City for a couple of years and just played awesome. And his son looks bigger, stronger, faster. So I think the sky's the limit. But anyway, yeah. Go Lions. What's up, man? Hey, man, glad you're here, man. I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of Lions love in here, man. I love it. Man, lots of love for Funk, man. That is fantastic, man. Thibodeau, it depends on who you talk to. Some sources will say Thibodeau, some will say Stingley. Let's say the Houston Texans pick first. Thibodeau will probably be the first overall pick. And the reason why is that I think that Lovie Smith will stay there as the defensive coordinator, maybe head coach. And that they'll run the Tampa 2 defense. And what do you need? You need a great defensive end. And Thibodeau's perfect. A team that wants a good corner, well, then let's take Stingley. But, yeah. James, what's up, brother, man? And that's another thing. I told you that I would do like a little one-on-one video, try to find some good sites. Because you and a lot of other people that are in the Detroit area that want to put action on Detroit, I want to try to find the best place for you to do that. Because I know a lot of Lions fans want to put action on over 5. So, yeah. So I'm needing to do that. I got your email. So if I get a chance to do it, because I want to let Luke know too, because I know Luke is adamant that the Lions are going to win over 5. So yeah, I really want to really want to help out you Lions fans that want to put action on over 5 wins. Because if you do want to put action on over 5 wins, do it now, because Dorsey will make some moves. I'm telling you this from experience here in Kansas City. Denver Gator asks, hey, can I borrow $5 just Would it be a pain to set up a casual fantasy football league for those here in the chat? We can draft in chat random numbers. You know what? I would not have no problems helping set something up. I don't do fantasy football myself because it takes away me trying to concentrate on betting, and I need to make a profit this year for betting on football. And some of my picks are going to come soon. I'm not going to say who I'm betting on. I'm going to wait, but I've done a quarter of my videos, but I finally got all the rookie coaches out of the way. I don't bet on rookie head coaches. So I'm not betting on the majority of teams. Only Carolina and Cincinnati don't have rookie head coaches out of the videos I've already done, and I'm not really wanting to bet on either one of those teams. I think there's some upside on both those teams. I could also see both those teams not doing as well. But I have no problem if you guys do set up a league. I can pick out a random number, and set up that draft order, or excuse me, something along those lines. But I don't play myself. But if you guys do want to set up a league, definitely do so. I would love to know how you guys do. Alex, this is in regards. I went on a rant. This is on the horn pick. Oh God, where is this here? Where is this here? Yeah. It's a little trash talk here. I love it. Man, lots of love here. But Dan, I was looking at a golf thread on what went wrong in LA, and I was going to send it to. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, you and Funk both put comments in the video. I got the notification from. So I got a notification of the comment, but I couldn't find the actual comment. So if you think that I'm ignoring a comment that you put in one of my videos, I'm not. I think YouTube's doing something kind of goofy. But I noticed you had a comment and Funk had a comment. I got the notification. I saw the comment. And then on the comments thread, it's just not there. I can't find it, which is kind of weird. I was going to send a screenshot to YouTube, kind of complain about them. So my apologies in advance if you guys put a comment and I didn't respond to it. I usually try to respond to every single comment in the video. If nothing else, I just want to give you a thumbs up to acknowledge I saw it. But yeah, I know his comment. You had one. I know Funk had one. Gator, you set it up, and I disagree. I think Houston will go quarterback next year. Hey, we still got to play, man. That's the one thing that's really cool about the NFL is I still think Deshaun Watson's going to play. I think he's going to end up being innocent. I'm going to stand by this. Adamantly. I think he's going to be innocent. I think he's going to play, whether it's 15, 10, 8. I think he's going to play. And I think when everything's said and done, he's going to say, you know what, I'm going to be a Houston Texan. I'm going to be here. And he's probably going to say all the right things, and then he'll get traded. I don't know. I'm teasing, but I actually do think Watson will play, and I think he'll stay there. And don't forget that quarterback they chose, that Mills kid. A lot of people really liked him. But we still got a long ways to go. But you never know. And I'm going to do my best to try to watch as much college football as I can, give you guys some information. So definitely. We'll try to give you guys some more information. And, of course, the draft is always something fun. I think everybody here loves the draft. I think I got a few subscribers just from some of my draft content. So I definitely will do that. Red Sea, by the way, great job last week. Yeah, Red Sea, phenomenal job. Definitely come back on. A great interview. You make me look good, which is awesome. I really enjoyed your takes. Love to hear. Yeah, exactly. Red Sea was a phenomenal interview. So was Luke G. I really should have done it a lot sooner, and I need to get more. I actually need to bring more people on here. And I mean, I know you guys love to hear me talk, but there needs to be less of that and more of hearing you guys talk. I give my opinion all the time. You guys definitely need to come on here more often. Anybody who wants to come on, send me a message. All my social media links are below. You can email me. I know Denver Gator, you follow me on Twitter. Red Sea follows me on Instagram. My boy Tim, we message each other through Facebook. All my links are below, whatever you want to do. But if anyone who wants to come on the show, if you have a particular topic, something you want to talk about, you just want to rant about your favorite team, you don't have to come on for the full show. Even if you just want to come on for like 30 minutes, go ahead and let me know, man. I've had some really good success, 2 really phenomenal interviews. Luke G, of course, I've been on his show twice. He has a lifetime pass to come on this show anytime he wants, and he knows this. I think the world of Luke G, in case you haven't noticed. Anyone want to set up a Madden franchise on console? This would be awesome. Please hit the Homeland up. I follow him on Instagram. We just met thanks to the Red Sea. So anybody want to do that? Luke uses the Discord server, the Discord, whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, I'm a little new to it, so I'm trying to get more involved with Discord. Something that's going to be a process. But anybody who wants to set it up, you can find the Homeland. He's on my Instagram, so anybody who wants to get set up on that, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram is listed below. I couldn't do the Dan show. Some assholes already got it, so I had to do like D_A_N. I may end up changing my Twitter hand, or I'm sorry, my Instagram handle, do something different later on. And my neighbors are just doing God knows what upstairs. But yeah, if anybody wants to get involved, let me know. I'll put you in the Homeland's direction, and you guys can get set up. It looks like Green Bay is going to lose Rodgers and Devontae. I saw that, and what it is that apparently it was just announced that the Packers are trying to extend Rodgers. Rodgers vetoed it, and now talk to extend Devontae Adams is now gone out the door. This is a bad thing because the line for the over-under was turned off for the Packers. It was, I think, like 9.5 at one point. Now it's off. However, you can still put action on the week 1 game, which is the Saints are a 2.5-point dog. Green Bay, I think Green Bay comes to New Orleans, and Green Bay is a 2.5-point favorite. So this may be something you want to sneak in. Now, on the flip side, Michael Thomas may miss that game. So that's something I did want to touch base on. But yeah, this is a huge loss. You could have a team that's gone 13-3. The last 2 teams have a losing record. And that depends on what you think of Jordan Love. But I mean, does anybody here think Jordan Love can replace Rodgers? So Funk says, I got my Lions at 7-10, 4 on paper, 2 because they play up for the coach, and 1 because a team shits them. Hey, man, hey, listen, it beats 5. The over-under is 5. The over-under is 5, and I know there's a lot of Lions fans who think that the over-under is not deserved. I will say this, when Dorsey makes some moves, I expect that number to go up. So if you do want to put action on the Lions, you want to do it relatively soon. But, I mean, of course, if a good player gets an injury, Cam Akers, anyone, then things are going to change. So that's kind of why I advise against it. But if you're a Lions fan and you're like, this is a 6, 7, what was it? We got 10 wins. Yeah, jump on them now. And I'm going to do some research. I'll try to get it before next week. I'll try to look into Michigan sports books and see what's available up there, because I know it's legal there. I just haven't looked up any sports book. The numbers for the last video, the Carolina Panthers, I actually used Westgate Casino in Vegas. Okay, a little fun fact. When you hear ESPN refer to Vegas, they're referring to the Westgate Sportsbook. All right, so anytime ESPN says Vegas, they're getting their numbers from the Vegas Sportsbook. So just it's Westgate. So, and I set up an account with them when I was in Vegas. You can access the numbers to the Westgate Sportsbook, but you can only bet if you're in the state of Nevada. Same thing with William Hill. William Hill's doing some weird promotional stuff right now where they're doing all sorts of weird alternate numbers. I know they didn't do this last year. I think it's just kind of an attempt to try to get more and more people getting action brought up. That's probably where I'm going to make my bets this year, is at the William Hill in Iowa. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on. And any bets I make, I'll announce live on the show. Actually, I'll probably do a video and then, kind of announce it and talk about it. So that's the difference between me and a lot of other people is that I'm going to make my predictions, but I'll show you my bet slips. And I do got some bets coming up here, maybe pretty soon. Just look up Matt Waldman on Twitter. I don't know if that's where I got it from, but I've you know what? I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I follow you on Twitter, but all right, Matt Waldman Twitter. Just in case, I'm pretty sure. I try to get like most media people on Twitter. Try to get a lot of information I can. But yeah, I saw it. I want to say it was Adam Schefter was the one who announced it on Twitter. I think that was the first thing I saw with Adams and Rodgers. Adams will play this year if they don't trade him. We got a couple months. I think they're both going to play this year, and I think they're going to be gone next year. I think Green Bay is going to just try to go all in. And then I think that what they're going to do is after this year, they're just going to say, okay, we're going to blow up everything. And you may see multiple players, not just these two go. You may see multiple players. They may do something like the Dolphins did 2 years ago where they got rid of Tunzel and Fitzpatrick and just got a bunch of draft picks. You could see something like that. I actually think both of them will end up playing in Green Bay. I'm okay. Today, right now, I think Adams and Rodgers will both be in Green Bay week 1. That's what I think. All right. Oh, shit. I am sorry. I'm really behind on comments here. I care about 4 games for the Lions this season. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Bears. Ooh, Bears on Thanksgiving. That would be a good one. And Lions, season stretch for me. NCDC, let's go. I will say this about the Lions. This year, I think ground floor 2022 could be something really good, especially if Goff looks good enough to be your franchise quarterback, because then you can use those first round picks to surround talent. And Dorsey's done a good job with his drafts. He's done a good job with his draft picks. He did a great job in Kansas City. Look at his first draft. You have Eric Fisher, who went to a couple Pro Bowls, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce could retire today and be in a Pro Football thing. And then you had a few draft picks they missed, but the first round picks were all pretty good players. I mean, Marcus Peters didn't pan out, but he did go to a couple Pro Bowls. Dontari Poe for a couple of years before he had that back fusion surgery was a monster. I'm trying to remember who else now. But then look at Cleveland. Myles Garrett. Some people thought would win defensive MVP. Baker Mayfield's interesting because they offered Mayfield an extension. Baker's like, nah, you're lowballing me. And they did. But the Baker Mayfield situation in Cleveland's interesting because do you overpay him to keep him there, which you'll have to do. But because if you do pay him, you're not going to keep the rest of that team around. So that's okay. I went on a rant. So I think if Rodgers is done in Green Bay, so is Adams. I do. And I will say this, James, I think both are going to play. Dan, a bunch of my comments disappear. Okay, I know for a fact you've had one or two that I saw the notification, then I go to YouTube and they're gone. I'm gonna try to get if you don't mind, hit me up on hit me up on my social media links, or you can email me. Let me know which one so I can send it into YouTube, because I know for a fact one of yours and one of Funk's comments, I saw the notification, then I go to YouTube and it's gone. So I don't know if YouTube just hates me or what's going on. On a positive, hold on, I got some coffee. On a positive note, I want to thank everybody here. Now, YouTube's kind of weird because how many viewers I goes up or down. Excuse me. Goes up or down, one or two from time to time. But I hit as I was getting on the air, I finally hit over 700. I was at 701 subscribers. So thank you so much. That was I'm trying to get 750 before the start of the NFL season. So I can't thank you guys enough. I love doing this. It's my favorite thing. And I'm getting more and more people joining the show. So it's a great thing. And Funk, hit me up on social media. I'm going to try to send help support. Like I said, YouTube may just hate me. I don't know. I think Watson, not only is he going to be innocent, I think there's going to be some issues with the lawyer or some of those people, because I'm with you right now. Yeah. And I kind of want to get too much into that, but you're 100% correct, One Pride 40. You're 100% correct. I'm like this close to going on a rant. Or Adams feels Rodgers isn't coming back and Rodgers wants what Green Bay was going to give Rodgers. Definitely a possibility. Both players do want a lot of money. I mean, and it's fair. It's definitely fair. I really think that they're both going to play in Green Bay this year, and then I think they're going to be gone in 2022. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. I like Goff 2023 and draft Grayson McCall, quarterback, Coastal Carolina. Here's the thing about Detroit, and this is what I absolutely love, is that if Goff pans out over the next 2 years, you get to have 4 first-round draft picks surrounding him. And John Dorsey's done a good job with his first-round picks, both in Kansas City and in Cleveland. So you got a proven guy as far as picking players in the draft, right? And I'm going to tell you something. This is a little-known fact. If you hit on 50% of your draft picks, you're basically a draft god. I mean, there's a lot of draft picks that are swing and a miss. I can name several players in Detroit. I could also name several players in Kansas City that were swings and misses. So bottom line, there's a lot of things that can happen in the draft. But John Dorsey's done a good job, and I actually love what Detroit did in the draft this year. I give him an A-. If Goff is your guy, you can use those 4 first-round picks to put all sorts of players around him. When I say around him, they can be defensive players. All right? You can get very creative. But let's say Goff's not your guy. You can draft Grayson McCall. I know One Pride knows him, the quarterback out of Clemson, who I think is going to be the first player chosen in the 2023 draft. And then there's a couple different players in 2022 that are really attracting some attention already. I don't know if Spencer Rattler can come out. I've been hearing him. I don't like him as much as a lot of other people do, not on an NFL standpoint. So McCall might come out. I've been hearing that. I'm hearing the same thing about Rattler. We still got college football season to go. It's going to be a great college football season. So Adams don't want to lose out on the money. He stopped the negotiations because he wants to be a top-paid guy, so he will play this year and get it. And he will get it in free agency, absolutely. And he deserves it. He deserves it. I mean, they don't really have a number 2 wide receiver. However, they did get that kid out, Clemson, who I really, really like, Amari Rodgers. So, yeah. And like I said, I really think that both Adams and Rodgers are going to play this year, and then next year you could see a complete dismantling of Green Bay. Denver has me on mute. I'm here so I don't get fined. Hey, man, I'm just glad you're here, and I can't wait to hear your opinion of the Denver Broncos video I'm going to release Monday. I already got the idea of how I already got the 3 likes, the 3 don't likes. I just have to put it into a video. I'm also thinking maybe I need to condense the video because there's a lot of things I left out on the Panthers video that I wanted to say. And then I noticed it was like almost a 17-minute video, and I was like, God, I could have made it 20. I could seriously, all these videos I'm making on the NFL teams, I can make them all 30 minutes. But I'm thinking I need to make them more like 10, not 16, 15. I don't know. But it's great. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, here you go. You go to back-to-back NFC championship games, and instead of putting yourself in a situation where you have Rodgers' replacement, right? Let's say you don't draft Love, and you brought in players to help. Well, you're in a position to go to a Super Bowl. You're in a position to compete with Tampa Bay. It's not like Tampa Bay blew you out. It's not like Tampa Bay won by 40 points. You could have used a player instead of Jordan Love to help you beat Tampa Bay last year. You're in a position. You could be in a position to go to a Super Bowl. Instead, you're looking at it. It really is. It's really crazy because a lot of people say this Packers organization. It's a great organization, but look at what they're doing. It's crazy. It really is. It's really nuts. And it's kind of a shame because you got a team that's won 13 games the last 2 years, been to back-to-back NFC championships. And instead of talking about Green Bay getting to a Super Bowl, we're talking about them losing their two best players. It's crazy. Go Lions. I'd rather have DJ Smith from Class City. Yes, and I'm going to tell you this right now. That kid's going to go number one. He's going to go number one in 2023. I don't know who's going to pick number one, but he's going to go number one. He looks amazing. He looks came in because Lawrence had the COVID scare, and Lawrence had the COVID scare and just played phenomenal on very little practice. Phenomenal. Hey, man, educate us on the Cardinals. I want to get somebody for all 32 teams that I can come in and say, hey, let me bounce this off of you. Let me bounce this off of you. If you came on the show and you're like, well, yeah, I got the Cardinals going 16-1 and winning the Super Bowl by 50 points. I'm like, okay, it's nice talking to you. Thanks for the support, and that's it. But no, you gave an honest opinion. You said, if I remember right, it was 10-7, and I love your analysis. I love what your input was. I love that your rest of the input you had on the NFC West. Definitely want you back, and then I'm also excited, because I'm going to do my first NFC West video in 2 weeks where I'll break down the 49ers, and I'm going to love to get your opinion. Definitely want you back when I break down the Cardinals. So McCall next year, golf 2023, McCall ready 2024. Good luck. Good work, hoping. Well, I think the Lions, what they're really hoping is that Goff ends up being the franchise quarterback. And not only does he end up being a franchise quarterback, I think they're secretly hoping that they can talk him to taking more of a team-friendly contract going forward. I think after these 2 years are up, they can get rid of him, and it's like, it's not that big of a deal. I think ideally what they're hoping is that Goff ends up living up to expectations of being a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, being the first pick. He earned being the first pick, all right? It wasn't like there was nobody else available. He earned being the first pick in the draft. I mean, this is definitely, without question, an above average quarterback. Now, whether is he a top 10 quarterback, a top 12, I think he's about top 15 quarterback. I don't have the rankings 1 through 32, but I would say Goff's definitely in the top 15 somewhere. If you're the Detroit Lions, you're like, please let this guy be the quarterback, all right? Because you got your offensive line, you got your quarterback, now the rest of the team, all right? And you got DeAndre Swift, the guy. By the way, you weren't here, to the best of my knowledge. I was begging for DeAndre Swift to be with the Chiefs. When I heard the Chiefs drafted a running back, I was so excited. And then I saw this Carlos Edwards-Helaire, and I was like, we didn't get Swift. And I was mad. But anyway. So. oh, man. Oh, God. So how bad will the Akers injury hurt the Rams? Because it happened now, they'll be able to use free agency to get somebody in. Darrell Henderson's a player who they also really liked, but Akers was definitely a guy that they were going to go ahead and give the bulk of the carries to. He was their number one running back. So I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but they were favored to win the division. I think it may dip a little bit. And what I'm really hoping is that it dips enough that San Francisco rises to the top, because you know what I've been saying about San Francisco. The thing is, because it happened in July, they can get a running back. All right. I mean, maybe it's Le'Veon Bell. Who knows? But they'll be able to get a running back or two. And Darrell Henderson, he was a third-round pick. He was a guy they liked. It just, whatever reason, I don't know if it's injuries or he just wasn't as good as Akers. But it won't hurt that much because it happened now. If this happened right before the start of the season, I would be like, oh, man. But not that much. Not that much. Now, keep in mind, another player gets injured, that's like when you really want to start because the depth on the Rams isn't that good. But Darnell Henderson's a pretty good player. He was a guy who had some starting potential. Depending on what team you are, he could be a starting running back. I think with Funk, I kind of agree. It won't be that bad. However, if there's more injuries going along with the Rams, then that's when it's a problem. Slasher, welcome, brother. Raiders don't have the money next year to pay Adams the amount he wants without using a few guys next year. So I definitely could see Gruden wanting Adams, but the one thing about Gruden is that he brought in Brian Edwards and he also brought in the guy out of Alabama. Oh God, I cannot believe I forgot his name. Anyway, the guy from Alabama, deep threat. So he drafted a couple of receivers. They did lose Aguilar, but I don't think that Gruden and Mayock, brain freeze. I really don't think that they're going to go after Adams. I don't think the Raiders are really going to be a contender for Adams, even though I know that he'd be really good. He would be really, really good in Vegas. He would be very, very good in Vegas. So, but yeah. I'm predicting Royce Freeman gets traded. That actually makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. You drafted Williams out of North Carolina. To tell you the truth, you could also am I going to forget everybody's name today? I'm just forgetting everybody's name. Oh man. Played for Wisconsin, should have won the Heisman. Your starting running back, loved him with the Chargers, and I cannot remember his name. I am doing a B- job today. I'm looking it up on ESPN because I feel like a jerk. Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's contract's up this year. That's the only reason why I would say that. Because I'm a big Melvin Gordon fan. I loved him in Wisconsin. I thought he did a great job with the Chargers, but it wouldn't surprise me because his contract's up this year. So, but yeah, Royce Freeman you could give him up for like a 7th. Denver, they got like no picks. Denver's done I'm going to do Denver's video Monday, so I'll stay away from talking about Denver. Adams is supposedly looking for like 28 a year. Wow. Okay. Where this is coming from is that this is actually what DeAndre Hopkins signed like a 2-year, $50 million extension. So, Adams does want about 25. He probably wants about 25 million a year. So, yeah. Hot take: 3 out of 4 teams in AFC East are making the playoffs. I could see that. I definitely think that Miami's a playoff team. I think New England's a playoff team. And I think Buffalo's a playoff team. I could see that. I 100% could see that because I think the AFC South, all the teams are kind of weird. I think I'm going to do the Broncos video, but the Broncos have some pluses. I think the Raiders have some pluses. I think the Chargers are going to be a disappointment. I've said that, but yeah. Akers is out for the season. Injured his knee, out the whole year. Yes. That's why it's Achilles injury. Okay. Hey, listen, man, this is why you join we talk football. We talk all 32 teams, man. We are here to help you, man. He wants to make more. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I am behind on I'm really behind on, oh, wow. The Homeland, I don't know about that. Mike's a Miami team. Here's the deal. I haven't done the Dolphins yet, but I am high on the Dolphins, and New England did a lot of really good things. It'll be interesting. I think the AFC East is going to be a lot of fun this year. Hopkins only getting 27. Yeah, exactly. He signed only for a 2-year extension. And part of that is that they're planning on moving on from Hopkins, because what they're going to do is that when that contract expires, they're going to just, okay, you'll be over 30, you're past your prime, and then we have to give Kyler Murray what could be a Patrick Mahomes type of deal. So, yeah. I got Stones tickets October. I am very jealous. I actually got to see the Stones here at Arrowhead. Phenomenal show. Great time. Okay, I'll be like temper my rant, but that's awesome, Mike. That's great. You're gonna have a blast. They put on a great show. So you think Love is a bust? You don't know. But Aaron Rodgers is MVP. To say that somebody's never played it down is going to be an MVP caliber player, you just don't know. Now, every single person in Kansas City is going to tell you, I knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be the greatest thing in the world, which is a bunch of bullshit. All right. But you have a lot of people say that. There was a lot of people thought Mahomes was going to be a bust. So you just don't know yet. I have no idea. I will say this. I watched him play twice his last year in college, and both were blowout losses, and I didn't see the hype. I saw the athleticism, but I was thinking like a 5th round pick. I didn't see what a lot of other people were seeing. So can you click on the link? A link. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay. I get the notification on my phone because what it is, I work in my breakfast bar. It's back there. So during the course of the day, if I release a video, I get the notifications on my phone. So I saw a notification from you for one of my videos, and I can't click on it. It's gone nowhere. And then Funk said the same thing. So yeah. By the way, this is you're gonna have a blast, Mike. I saw them play at Arrowhead, and they put on a phenomenal show. Congrats on the 700 buds. And no, I have no clue. I think it reported has. I get reported as. maybe you do, man. But you and One Pride, and I do follow. I'm gonna make this a very short answer. I follow a lot of content that YouTube doesn't like that's not football related. So that could happen. Pride, he wants too much. He does. A good one. I actually have no idea. And by the way, he's talking about a good one for the Bucks. And by the way, Goodwin signed a 1-year deal, but more than likely he's gone after next year. And that would actually be a great move for Detroit. And this is another reason why I could see if you want to put action on Detroit, do it before a trade like this comes around, because then the number will jump up from 5 to 6 to 7. It'll be hard to say what the number is going to be, but yeah. Lions need a quarterback, don't they? That's actually the number one question. Is that this is what I like what the Lions did, is that if Goff doesn't pan out, you got 2 number ones this year, you got 2 number ones next year. So if they find a quarterback in 2022, they can use 2 first-round picks this year plus 2 first-round picks in 2023. You can give up, you can mix and match. Let's say they want to draft a kid out of Clemson, DJ Smith. I can't pronounce that name. They could actually trade back in 2022's draft and stockpile some more picks. That way it's easier for them to stockpile in the following year. But that's what I love, because if you stayed with Stafford, you have to go with Stafford. That's just your only plan. But with Goff, you get the extra draft capital. So you hope it's Goff. But if not, hey, we'll get rid of you. And we got all these first round draft picks as draft capital. But Mike, I think they will, but Goff could prove me wrong. I wonder if I wanted Amari in the draft, but Yeah, I did like Amari Rogers in the draft. Getting it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was a phenomenal pick in the fourth round. I thought he was going to go in the second, and here's the deal: you're not getting a superstar receiver, but this is a starting NFL caliber wide receiver. I would be surprised the way your receiving core is right now. He'll earn a starting spot as one of the top three. And I think you'll play a lot. I think I'm kind of excited to see what they'll do offensively. But I expect you'll have a multifaceted offense, a run-heavy offense, knowing Anthony Lynn. But he may be receiver number 3, but he'll be a starter. Mike, I'd love it. I'd love it if Goff proves me wrong. That's the big thing. Yeah, I posted in the comments how I skipped over to 3 things. Yeah, I had no problem with that. I would like to know how many wins you think that your Lions are going to get this year. Yeah, Mike, I lived in St. Pete, Clearwater area for 12 years, even been to games out to Old Sunboro. How stoked are you that the Bucks and Lightning championship in the same year? That's so awesome. That is really cool. I don't follow hockey, but Daniel Jeremiah on Remove the Sticks podcast talked about what you can take from the Lightning and how it applies to other sports. And there is a lot of things that the Lightning did that other teams are doing. So it is kind of cool. And I mean, Tampa is a great town. The company I work for now actually has a headquarters out at Tampa. So there is a possibility I would move out there, and I fully expect you guys to let me know what's up in Tampa Bay if that happens. So I don't know. He has to step up. You really need a top 7 to 8 quarterback these days to go far. I do agree with that, and that might be a little much of a stretch. But Goff's a good quarterback. Is he 7 or 8? That's a big question. Me neither, and that's something that's really, really, really surprising. Yeah, Tampa's been great football, hockey, and baseball, and I'm a fan, but I live closer to Miami. Miami's a great town, and I think it's also kind of cool that you're in a state where you got like three teams that you can kind of cheer for. Living in the Kansas City area, even when St. Louis was here, nobody really cheered for the Cardinals. There's a big rivalry, between Missouri and St. Louis. So yeah. The division is ours for the taking. Hey, look, I love the fact that the Lions are excited. I live in a parallel universe where the Packers look incompetent and the Lions are starting to Todd Curley, I do believe this will happen. I do think it will happen. And Gurley did not look good in Atlanta last year. I don't know if he was banged up or what the specifics were, but yeah, I do think Gurley will come back to LA. But Darrell Henderson's not a bad player. So even if Gurley comes back, it's not 100% sold that Gurley will get the starting reps. So, but yeah, Gurley could easily come back. James, calm down. The Vikings are still there. Yeah, the Vikings Vikings and the Bears. I know Luke thinks the Bears are going to be garbage. The Bears to me are the one team in the NFC North. They could win 6 games. They could win 12 games. The Bears to me are all over the place. But going forward 2022, you could see the Packers implode, and you could see, especially if Detroit makes some really good moves with those draft picks. They're building. Detroit's building something really good. All right. Shit. Okay. All right. There it is. All right. We can take divisions because it doesn't scare me as long as Fields stays on the bench. You said they lost Aguilar like it was a big loss. Oh shoot. Sorry. All right. My comments here are all over the place. He had a good year for them last year. I was actually really surprised New England gave him that much money, but I really don't see Adams going to your Raiders, man. I don't see it, but Henry Ruggs. I think they really like Ruggs and Brian Edwards. I think they really like those two guys. No, but I will say this. I really like that Kellen Mond pick. It wouldn't surprise me in a couple of years from now, Kellen Mond's starting quarterback in Minnesota. When it snows in the summer, it's harder. Aguilar had a breakout season, but I won't act like he's amazing. His hands are horrible for a receiver. No, he did have a breakout season, and that was the reason why I was kind of surprised. New England doesn't like drafting sure-handed receiver. He's more of an athlete than really pure receiver, but I don't think Dalton plays 3 games. I think Fields starts. Wow. Slasher, I know it's definitely not a name to remember. Yeah, so they absolutely stole Hopkins, traded for him right in his prime, and letting him walk right when he's entering. So, yeah, absolutely. No, you're 100% right. And they gave him a lot. They gave him a lot of money. And this is really smart because by the time they let him go, that's when you have to pay Kyler Murray. And you are going to have to pay Kyler Murray. All right, you have to do it. So you get him when he's in his prime. He starts to go down. In case you haven't noticed, they also got AJ Green, who's also going to be in decline. You watch next year; they're probably going to draft some receivers. So, yeah, exactly. Randall L. worked with Godwin in Tampa, and Godwin to Detroit actually makes a lot of sense. Shoot, D-Hop may retire over the vax rules. I didn't want to. God, I don't know how much I want to talk about this because I'm gonna tell you something. You get the vaccine, you don't get the vaccine. More power to you either way. I don't have it. I don't want to take it. I will fight tooth and nail about taking it. That's just me. Yeah, I got some friends that take it, that have taken it. My parents, my dad did, my mom did. I don't think he's going to retire, but I was surprised that coaches were let go over it. I understand. The NFL is changing the rules this year that teams could forfeit games over this. God, this isn't the place, and I'm not the person to talk about it. If you got the vaccine, I support you. If you're like me and you don't want to get it, then I support you too. I'm not happy with the NFL coming down so hard on it, but I'm also not the person to make a stand on it either, unfortunately. But I will say this: it's affecting things. So yeah. Yes, I meant to talk about this. He has ankle surgery. He could be out week 1. I heard it right now. It's week 1, but he could play early in the season. The thing is with the Saints is that I'm going to talk about this when I break down the Saints. Is that when the Saints when Breeze didn't play the last 2 years, he missed, I think it was 5 games 2 years ago, 4 games this year. They're 8-1. They were able to really adapt to being more of a run-based offense, and the defense is still good because they did lose some of their coaching staff to Detroit and Michael Thomas being hurt. They also lost Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook, but they did have Adam Troutman, I'd say from Dayton, who was a really intriguing athletic small school prospect. Can he go ahead and get it done? I don't know if they got another receiver. I think they got a guy that's okay, but the over/under's low for the Saints. I want to say it's 9, but again, I haven't done the Saints yet. But Michael Thomas is he could play week 1. That's what I saw not too long ago. But I will give you a warning. I think that they kind of went all in last year because they knew that this was probably going to be Breeze last year. They got some older players, but don't write the Saints off yet, man. Do not write the Saints. The over/under's 9, and they've won the last 4 years. They've won 11, 13, and 12 games. So, and they've won the last 4 NFC South titles. They may have one more year where they're still a good team, but sooner or later. Straight tyranny. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. Dude, the new rule punishes the whole team if someone who is unvaxxed gets COVID and not if a vax guy gets it. Well, it would have to be enough people. Yeah, what it is that if last year they changed some things around, they're not going to do it this year. You don't pass the COVID protocol, you could end up in a forfeit. This is a big deal because a lot of the over-unders I'm talking about, the small print is team must play 17 games. So if they don't play, how's that going to affect into it? I think the way it works is that it's still going to count as games. It's going to be a loss, but it's going to affect a lot of things, over-unders. So what I've been telling people so far, if you've been paying attention to over-unders, I've been telling a lot of people take the unders. I'm not even counting a lot of these rules. So, yeah. Bill was throwing out more money than a pervert. Yeah, this is the first time in a long time, and I'm actually looking forward to doing my Patriots video. And they also had a lot of players who opted out last year that are coming back, and they had a really good draft. I gave the Patriots an A+, so it's very interesting to see what New England's going to do this year. It wouldn't surprise me if they go back to the playoffs. Just saying that right now, it wouldn't surprise me. It's surprising Green Bay had back-to-back. Yeah, they did. I was floored. What makes their draft 2 years ago with Jordan Love and the Boston College running back, I'm drawing a blank on his name, was that they gave Aaron Jones over $48 million. So you draft a running back in the second round. And I was thinking to myself, okay, you draft this running back in the second round, you're going to get rid of Aaron Jones. Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. But instead of doing that, you give Aaron Jones $48 million for a guy who barely played last year. And now you have a $48 million running back with a second round pick. Well, why didn't you draft another wide receiver? Yeah, I'm really surprised. Green Bay's done some very questionable things. It's really surprising. But, like I said, they did have a bad draft, what I considered a bad draft, and they went to an NFC championship game. So, I mean, who's to say? I do like the Rodgers kid. I will admit that third-round pick, I really like that kid. Dan, I got a heart condition. The vax could F me up, and they ain't worth it to me. A thing for me is where you do you, and I'll do exactly. And that's here's the thing. This is what America's all about. Is you do your thing, I do my thing, and we're good. Anybody who gets a vaccine, great. I'm happy. My dad got it. I was like, okay. And and then who. Don't worry about if I don't get it. I mean, I don't, what, forget COVID. I don't like people being in my space anyway. I don't like people being like 2 feet away from me anyway. I'm the type of person, if you're walking behind me or too close, I'm going to kind of give you the weird eye, I mean, we sitting there, we try to sniff my ass. I mean, come on, and that was before COVID, so now, yeah, I don't like people being too close to me anyway. I mean, you're some hot chick, you want to sniff my ass. Sorry, rant. Okay. Yeah. You do you, I do me. We all get along together. Funk. Well, remember not this draft. Remember last year's draft? Me and you kept on arguing. And remember how I told One Pride 40 how the Lions would get 2 first-round picks for Stafford, and One Pride was saying it'd be a third. Remember that? I'm joking, but it was just the opposite. Yeah. You do me, I do you. We all get along, man. We all get along. In 2 years, Detroit might be a terrifying team next year. It'll be interesting to see what they do. One Pride 40, they've been terrifying. Oh, God, I love the trash talk between you two, man. The last good draft they had was 2019. Terrifying against your Dolphin. COVID variant is running rampant in Florida. Everybody's getting vaccinated. That was another thing. as I do sports gambling, I get a lot of offers to go to Vegas. And Vegas, a couple weeks ago, hey, we're completely open. Everything's back to normal. And then there's a big spike in positivity rates. So, it's going to be interesting because if a team like for example, Vegas, it's right now at a spike. If a team like that, all of a sudden has to lose 2 games, how's that going to affect the over-under? Or, is it a plus for a team like, Kansas City to say, hey, look, we got an instant win? One thing and I didn't touch base on this too much, but the NFL did change the rules. They're going to go ahead and have the flexible roster rules carry over this year. There's a list on ESPN. I'm not going to read it out. But there is some things the NFL is doing to have additional players, which I think is a great move. It's something that I hope that they continue to have going forward, which is just good additional depth. Since you're having all these schools, in college football, you're having more and more schools all the time. We talked about Coastal Carolina. They didn't even have a football program until a couple of years ago. Now they're having first-round caliber quarterbacks in 2023, so that's kind of a cool thing. So, yeah. But, the Packers' last good draft was in 2019 when took Savage. Actually, it's funny because I blasted the Packers because they drafted Rashawn Gary, who played a 5 technique. They're moving him to outside linebacker. And I was like, it doesn't make any damn sense. And Savage was a guy who had a 3rd-round grade and then had a phenomenal combine. They took him in the 1st round, traded back in the 1st round to get him. I didn't like that at all, but ended up being a good pick because Gary looks like he's going to be a monster, and Savage looks like he's going to be a pretty good player. It ended up being a good draft. I wasn't fond of it, but, it worked out good. And Mike, my woman works in medical, and the crazy thing she says is Delta don't care about no facts. She sees more vaccinated with the Delta than non-vax people right now in the last 2 or so. And I'm not really sure how to respond. It's just that whether you get it, whether you don't get it, more power to you. I'm more of an ability. I'm more of a type person to say, like, you do you, I do me, and let's just get along. And unfortunately, we talked about this with the Me Too movement earlier, is that a lot of things are kind of just overblown. Don't insult anybody. It's kind of like the liberal type of population where, we're acceptance of everybody unless you disagree with us. And that's kind of the way things are going. I think I'm going, I think I'm getting on a dangerous rant here. So before I go ahead and give a goofy rant here, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, even though I've gone off the rails here talking about stuff I know nothing about. So don't forget to give me a thumbs up. We'll see if we can get back into football. 2018, and I don't have the Packers draft pulled up, but I will say this: I hated the last 2 drafts. And teams go in trends. If you're young, so you actually don't remember, but the Packers in the 60s, one of the greatest dynasties of all time. Then 20 years after, it might have been longer than 20 years, it was actually 25 years after Lombardi left Green Bay is when they got Holmgren. They were a bad team for about 25 years. Then Holmgren came to town and brought together some really good teams, a Super Bowl win. So, I mean, even Green Bay will have a streak where they had a bad team. I mean, Kansas City, they win Super Bowl 4. In 1971, they play in the longest game ever on Christmas Day, went in a 3rd overtime, if I'm correct, and didn't go back to the playoffs till 1985, and then they lost a few more years. Then Marty came in. So anyway, bottom line is that all teams will go through a time of not being any good. All NFL teams will be that way. And this may be the time for the Packers. It's happened before. It's happened before. It's been a while since Packers been a bad team, but yeah. Mike will say he hears differently, that it works. I sound anti-vax from time to time, but I'm not. I took my dad to get it. He just got the J&J stop sign. All right. Hey, look, it's bottom line. Hey, look, in this community, you can be pro shot, anti-shot, doesn't matter. We're just all here. We're football fans. And ultimately, I want to help everybody go ahead and take money from those evil casinos. That's why I offer my over-unders. And I want everybody to go ahead and use the knowledge I produce here on the show. And then you guys also help out with to be able to take money from those evil casinos, especially you Lions fans that are convinced that over 5 is the way to go. Definitely put some action down soon. And I want to hear from you if you do put some action down. And I'm going to wrap this up a little sooner than normal. And I promise it's not COVID related, but I've had a sore throat the last couple of days. It's been kind of an allergy thing, but I've noticed I'm having some problems talking. I'm having an absolute blast here. This has been a great conversation. I do want to note that the next 3 weeks, I'm going to have some good videos coming out. The Denver Broncos breakdown is Monday. The Dallas Cowboys breakdown is Wednesday. That's for Alex, who's not here right now, but I know he's excited about it. And the New York Giants will be Friday. And then next Friday, I want everybody back. We'll go ahead and we'll talk football. Also, we'll talk about any NFL-related issues. All my social media is below. If you have a question, you want to join the show, you can always follow me on social media. You can also just email me, like I got this below. If you have a show idea, video idea, let me know. If it's a good idea, I may or may not do it. Just, let me know what you think. If you do want to get on the show, join the show, let me know. Let me know in advance. Let me know what ideas, what you want to talk about. If you want to stay on for the whole live stream, or if you just want to come on, ask a few questions, join in some of the conversations, and then we can go from there. But yeah. Good night, everyone. And then, was it possible the Lions could turn? Absolutely. Everything right now looks positive for the Lions' future. I don't think this year is going to be a great year, but anyway. All right, guys. All right. Guys, I'll see you next week.